and welcome to today's Sunshine Prepper News. I'm Willow, the Sunshine Prepper, here to spread a bit of positivity on the unavoidable doom and gloom. Before we hop in today, I'd love to quickly introduce you to a breathing technique called alternate nostril breathing. With regular practice, it can lower your blood pressure and lessen your stress response. We'll do one, maybe two. First, you'll exhale, and then one cycle is you inhale on the left and exhale on the right, and then you inhale on the right and exhale on the left. Okay, let's go. Okay, there's proper finger positionings for that. Sorry, it's more like this. I just got excited, but I wanted to show that to you guys real quick. Great job! My lungs feel full of winter gunk and in need of spring cleaning. You'll want to have clear, healthy lungs to outrun the zombie horde. So don't underestimate the power of practicing breathing. That's the alternate nostril breath. Okay, enough of my health coach coming out. Let's get into today's news. First, I'll share a few noteworthy points of interest that you can look up more on if you so please. And then I'm going to get into the topic in the thumbnail. Who is the enemy? All right, first up, we all survived the eclipse, hooray! And then some real news, like about 4 million chickens have been culled in the name of bird flu. Egg prices, look out. There's another ship that lost power and almost hit a critical bridge in New York. We had an earthquake in Taiwan, also an earthquake in New Jersey, and the Statue of Liberty was struck by lightning. While this one sounds a bit like it hopped out of the Book of Revelations, the statue does get hit a few times a year, so put your tin hat away for now. The housing defaults are at their highest levels in a decade, and Dollar Tree is closing hundreds of Family Dollar stores while also planning to raise Dollar Tree store prices up to $1.50 to up to $7. So they're $1.25 to $5. They're going to go to $1.50 to $7. Gas is going up around 50 cents over a few days in some places. It'll surely plateau, but if you can, stay topped off. A quick update on the war on traditional foods. Over in the UK, you can now go to jail for 6 months and or, not 100% sure, a £5,000 fine if you fail to register your poultry, even if you have just one. This is in the name of tightening up disease control and safeguarding bird health. What's crazy is only about 13% of people wanted this government overreach, but it passed anyway. And lastly, something that should seriously be bigger news in the USA, which is a Russian ship with up to $40 million of undocumented, heavily sanctioned uranium that was headed for the US was detained at a NATO port. This is the same type of material we use in nuclear energy plants and is very capable of causing harm in the wrong hands. Just some thoughts. Which brings us to my question of who is the enemy? Is it Russia? Is it China, ISIS, or some combination of foreign actors? Is the enemy our corrupt politicians and elite ruling class? Is the enemy fans of the playground? Who all is our government supposedly spending money to defend us against? Well, recently it was a priority for the National Guard to run an oddly specific exercise. With the National Guard, the scenarios developed for the training can be whatever they want. With the bounty of foreign options, they chose to focus on a scenario where domestic violent extremists plant a nuclear bomb in a stadium where people are gathering to hear the vice president speak. Okay, I get the premise of the scenario, and it's great to practice the intricacies of clearing out every teensy-tiny space in a stadium and how to handle and manage all the aspects of a threat like that. I very much see the value in the National Guard practicing how to actually coordinate with FBI and state and local law enforcement. But we just recently had the FBI warning of people who want to do harm in the U.S. crossing through the open border. So why, in the ever-loving, why is the villain in this training scenario a domestic source? Make it make sense. It doesn't seem to be a one-off either. In November 2023, a threat assessment was put out titled The Threat from Within, an overview of the domestic violent extremist threat facing U.S. nuclear security practitioners. They say things like insider threats and non-state actors are the most persistent concerns facing nuclear security practitioners. And then they call on the J6 insurrection as revealing the flaws in a system designed to weed out the unsuitable candidates for effectively protecting national assets. Pretty much they're implying that anyone with the wrong political affiliation should not be involved in any nuclear or grid operations. This is very interesting. It's kind of arguable that Blueprints are being laid to blame domestic people for a foul event, even if it's done by a foreign actor. To top it off, our government has been, of course, illegally surveilling and building profiles on Americans who are anti gun, anti lockdown and mandates, and support border security, and are labeling them as extreme targets of domestic nature, aka domestic violent extremists, or DVE for short. Well, careful everyone. They might add prefers to eat meat instead of bugs to the DVE criteria, or believes in two genders, or doesn't want to drink glyphosate. That's all the food for thought I've got for today. Let's close out with a regular good old deep breath and sigh. Okay. The assignment this week, if you choose to accept, is to give a long, heartfelt hug to someone that you love, because life is precious and short and anything can happen out there. Wishing you and your family the best. Sunshine Prepper out.